Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the official Marymount Athletics podcast made by Marymount. This is episode 7, and today I'm joined by sophomore on the men's wrestling team, Brooks Coleman. Brooks and I talk about how he is the first ever recruit to a brand new program here at Marymount, his favorite memory from last year with his team, and a special guest that was brought to Media Day this year and last year. So with that, let's meet Brooks. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Made by Marymount, the official Marymount Athletics podcast. This is episode 7, and I'm joined here by men's wrestler Brooks Coleman. Brooks, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Ella?
I'm fantastic. It's a beautiful day outside. It's podcast day. It's always a good day. Always a good day. And I got you here with me. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yes, it is. I'm
so
excited to be
with
here.
that, let's talk a little wrestling. All right. So you were a part of the first year wrestling team here at Marymount. That's pretty wild. Tell me a little bit about that overall experience. We'll go in depth, to your recruitment process and, your season in general. But overall, tell me a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, so coming here, last year we had 12 kids on the team, and I started off, wasn't really wrestling much in the beginning of the year because I started off with an injury in my knee. But it was a lot to take in, higher intensity practices and more in-depth workouts with the team and, traveling much farther. We're going up to Pennsylvania and stuff, whereas in high school, you're only going around the state for most of the time. But it was really fun for me to experience kind of the new team mechanic because it was like you get to meet new people. We met the new team, Jacko and all those other great guys. They're all really, really good guys, and it was just fun, going around the East Coast and traveling and wrestling around.
So with that, you talk about a little bit of the practices changing in that. So how long have you been wrestling? How long have you been in your wrestling career?
So I started wrestling when I was 5, so 14
5 years
years.
Old?
Yes, I started wrestling when I was 5 years old.
How do you wrestle when you're 5?
So I was playing football when I was 5, and my dad wrestled in high school, and a bunch of my teammates were wrestling and stuff. So I decided to try it out, and you just kind of start out, get on the mat, little kids. I have pictures of me,
Really?
yay high and little tiny green singlet, on the mat. It's great, yeah.
You're about this tall.
Yep.
But you're ready to attack. You're not going to lose.
Oh, yeah. I was probably 30, 40 pounds, just out there wrestling, doing my hardest.
So that's so funny. So with, you have been wrestling your whole life and you come here to college. Something really special about you in this program is that you were the first recruit.
I was.
Tell me a little bit about that. What did Coach Hill say to you? What was that process like? Because you were basing it off of quite literally nothing.
Right.
There was no team to be oh, they're reigning champs. That's something I want to be a part of. You were looking at what this program could be.
Right. So I first met Coach Hill at the national tournament in Virginia Beach. And I met him through my high school coach. My high school coach was like, hey, I know this guy. He wants to kind of talk to you about stuff. Coach Hill had watched me wrestle one of my matches. And he thought I did pretty well, and he liked my character. And when I talked to him, he was talking about, I was doing Air Force ROTC at the time, and so he went to VMI, so he knows the military aspect of that, and he saw that in my character, he thought I was one of the people that could help, build the program and bring other people in, because I feel he felt like I was such an enthusiastic and outgoing person that, I'd help expand the program. And, when he told me that, I felt it made me feel really important,
Right.
And that kind of thing, kind of warms up the soul.
Right.
So I kind of thought about it for a little bit and came and visited. And I think it was the night after the visit I called him and was like, "Hey, Coach, I'm coming to Marymount next year." And he was like, "That's great to hear. You're the first one." So it was very exciting to hear that I was the first one. And yeah, now here we are.
That has to be really special. Like you said, your team has almost doubled in numbers. Last year with 12 and now, 35 plus, which is really crazy to think about. And just watching your team grow over the last year has to be something really special, especially like Coach Hill was telling you, you were the foundation of this team. You were part of the inaugural team. In 50 years from now, or maybe 40, I don't know. But you'll be able to look back and you're like, I was a part of that when it first started. And that's really special.
Yeah, no, that definitely is really special to be a part of something when it's brand new and you never know how it's going to turn out. Obviously, I feel like it's turning out really well. Having I don't know, 25 freshmen coming in.
Right.
It's kind of insane. It's a lot of kids, a lot of new kids. Everyone's really good, really nice guys too. And I think, 30, 40 years down the road, looking back on it, you never know. Maybe I'll come back and take a peek around, see how it's doing, see how it's expanded and grown. Because by then, you never know. Maybe it'll be a lot bigger. Maybe it'll be the same size. You never know. You never know how it'll be.
And I think it's really unique too. Like, I walked past you guys when you had media day last week, and everybody just seems very excited. Everybody seems really happy to be here, to be a part of it. And I think that too is really important. Like, nobody's dragging their feet, and everybody's really excited to be here. And I think a lot of that has to do with, the foundation that you guys built last year, coming off of just 1 year. You had a first practice, you had your first meets, you had, everything was a first for you guys, and there was so much room for growth, and, you took that and you ran with it. And I think that that's really impressive. And, I'm excited to see what all of you can accomplish this year, because everybody, like I said, just seems so excited to be here.
Yeah. And I think that excitement, doesn't only come from, the new kids seeing how well we did with the small team last year. It also comes from their individual love for the sport. All the wrestlers on the wrestling team are here because they love wrestling, and they want to do it because wrestling is the kind of sport where if you put yourself in that mindset and work hard, it's going to make you not only a better wrestler, it's going to make you a better person. Like, the mindset and the mental strength that it gives you is so immense that, there's not really many sports that can match that,
No, and obviously, you sit here and you quite literally wrestle each other. It's exactly what you think it is. You sit here and you tussle on the mat, you know what I mean? So I think, that everybody loves their sport, and, it can be, mentally and physically exhausting, but no matter what, loving your sport is so important. And I think that that's really awesome that, you see that, and you guys have just now getting started. You're only a couple of days in, and you're everybody here loves this sport. And I think that that's really special.
No, yeah, for sure. Even the guys that are, newer to the sport, some of the guys have been wrestling for, like me, I'd say 14 years. Some guys have been wrestling for 6 years. Some guys this is their second year, and everyone here is here for the same reason. We're all here to get better and improve upon ourselves. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes and the next coming years.
So a little bit of wrestling talk here. So something that obviously I think everybody knows, but you guys all do it by weight class. Tell me a little bit about how that impacts your daily life, because obviously you can't really fluctuate. You kind of have to stay where you are. Tell me a little bit about that, situation.
Right. So beginning of the year, you do a hydration test and a body fat test to see what the safest or what the lowest you can go safely is. So this year I'll be wrestling the 141-pound weight class. I'll be cutting down to that. I'm going to try and stick around 145. So, I'll probably get up in the morning, not have too much of a breakfast, maybe some eggs, have some black coffee. And really it's the workouts that get you. You go to a practice. If I went to a practice 152 pounds, I might come out 146. You never know. You can lose 5 to whoever knows how many.
So what is the easiest way to manage that?
To manage the weight?
Yeah.
Definitely. It's just, you just got to control what you're eating. Eat healthy. Personally, I eat a salad and, some protein, have a little carbs in the morning to have energy throughout the day. And you just got to keep putting the work in on the mat. Like I said, wrestling, you're using every single muscle in your body for the entire time you're wrestling. And it's, you're going to lose weight no matter what. If you in high school, for the off season, everyone goes up a little bit in weight. Those first few weeks, everyone's losing an average of 5 to 10 pounds for their walking around weight.
Right.
And then by practice, you never know how much you'll be able to lose.
So in your off season with that, is obviously you don't want to lose or gain too much. Is it still are you a little bit more free in your off season?
Yeah,
to kind of do what you want?
Yeah, of course. So in the off season, it's really up to the individual wrestler to decide what they want to do. Some guys like to kind of hang around the weight they already are and maintain their weight throughout the off season, and some guys like to bulk up, go up a weight class or go down a weight class. Last year, I was wrestling 149, and I was cutting from around probably 160 every week. So, you know, it was a little bit of a struggle for me. But over the summer, I just kind of started controlling my weight, eating healthier, and you know, my walking around weight's like 152 right now, and
you know, talking with the summer, you worked really hard this summer, you know, to try and maintain to come back and have a really good season this year. Tell me a little bit about, you know, what you did this summer to get you ready for, you know, your sophomore season.
Yeah, so I had a rough summer. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I started off really strong, was going and meeting up with some of the high school coaches who were still young, you know, early 20s, and wrestling with them and stuff, and working out every day. And then midsummer, I kind of got a little lazy and stuff. I was keeping up with my food and stuff, but I definitely could have done a lot more. But, you know, I feel a lot more comfortable with where I am now than I did in the beginning of this year because of the work that I've put in the past few weeks, now that I've gotten back on the mat and gotten back into the mentality of, all right, I'm here for a reason. Let me put in the work. I'm here to improve myself, and I need to show it to everyone.
So how do you, as a student athlete, maintain your practices with wrestling and, you know, your academics? Because for you guys, like you said, it's you use every muscle in your body, so you have to be really tired. Yeah. But then with that, like, you have classes, like, you still have to be here and, you know, being a student. What's your, like, way of managing that?
So, me personally, I try to wake up before 8 o'clock every day, get up, have some energy in me, get a shower, because that's going to wake you up, you know, getting up in the morning and just getting water in your face is gonna wake you up in the morning.
You're right on that one. I can agree.
I take ice baths once or twice a week. It helps soothe my muscles, you know, because I mean, I'm always sore, always sore.
I believe
always
it.
Sore. I have a class that is during practice time on Wednesdays, and thankfully Coach Hill's, you know, a nice guy, so he lets everyone that has class, like, during the practice times, you leave early, go shower, and go to class, because, you know, Coach Hill's mentality is, yes, we're here to wrestle, but we're at college. Our first priority is academics. Right. So he understands that if wrestling starts to impact us, we need to take our academics first. And so he's very, very helpful with that. And all the coaches are very understanding that, you know, we're here to get an education and graduate in the next, you know, for me, 3 years.
Right.
And, you know, they all know that's the reason we're here on top of wrestling.
Right.
But, yeah, I personally, I try and have an hour and a half a day where I sit down and just focus on schoolwork. I find some free time. I go to the dining hall and sit down with my computer, maybe meet up with some friends from class, and are like, all right, let's work on this, and this right now.
Right.
Or, you know, I'll go to a study room and listen to music by myself, and I'll be like, all right, let's do this right now. Get it knocked out. I can go relax later. I can go to practice later, and I have all that free time to myself afterwards.
Right. So, you know, talking a little bit about your coaches, you have some pretty cool coaches, I will say, and your coaches have done some pretty cool things. What's it like to be coached by them?
It's outstanding. You know, all the coaches here are really, really amazing, and it's a great opportunity that we have, because not a lot of people know this, because our coaches are very humble people, but Coach Hill knows so much. He's such an intelligent man and such a humble and kind person that, like, like, when he tells you and tries to teach you something, he knows how to teach it. Like, you're going to understand it like that. Coach Saheed and Coach IB, they went to the Africa Championships a while ago, and Saheed was coaching IB, and IB got second in the Africa Championships.
Which is awesome.
He defeated the 8th and 7th ranked wrestler in the world to get to the finals, and he ended up going to the World Championships a few weeks back.
I think that shows measures on, you know, your coaching and your coach, like, what program they're leading. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they're all hands-on. You know, if you ask them something to show you something, they're gonna get right with you. And you know, they might beat up on you a little bit at practice. You know, they're pretty strong, and but they're all here to make us better and learn. And it's a remarkable experience to have such great coaches.
Yeah. So what has been your favorite memory, like, wrestling here?
Oh, gosh.
It can be a bus ride. It can be, like, a practice. It can be a certain meet that you guys went to.
Okay, so I can't remember what meet it was, but on the way back, we had, I think it was Coach IB was driving, Saheed was in the passenger seat, and a bunch of the wrestlers were, in the back of the vans. And for probably about 2 hours, we were like, someone had a beat going and we were rapping. And Saheed is very musically talented. It's very shocking. Like, he would get on the beat and he would, oh my gosh, he was very, like, it was shocking how well he could flow. And it was really fun, it was a good bonding moment with the team
Right.
and the coaches, just to, like, let off some steam.
Right. I love it. So as we finish off here, I have a couple of questions, kind of some fun stuff. So if anybody has ever seen any of your media day pictures, you took some pictures with a guitar. And I would consider that one of your hobbies. Am I correct? Am I thinking here?
Yes, you would be correct.
So tell me a little bit about, your musical ability.
Okay, so I started playing guitar over the summer, probably around July. I had always had a guitar. I had an electric guitar that Mark Morton gave to me when I was a little kid. He's the lead guitarist in the band Lamb of God.
Okay.
It's a heavy metal band, not very well known, but he went to high school with my mom. And
That's awesome. I did not know that, but that's very cool.
I traded that in for my acoustic that you saw on my media day post.
Correct.
And I picked it up because I was like, I feel like it's something that, like, everyone needs a hobby where they can just go and let off some steam.
Yeah.
So I feel like over the summer I would just go to my room, relax, play some guitar. And I had played the cello for 5 years, so music kind of came easily to me. I just kind of picked it up. It was hard at first, getting the calluses back on my fingers. My fingers. There were days where, like, I'd play till my fingers bled. I know it's like something that, like, they say in songs, but, like, I played till my fingers bled a couple times, and it's really relaxing, and I feel like it's a good way to express myself for who I am.
So what kind of music are you playing on the guitar?
I mostly play country music, Zach Bryan, Tyler
Right.
Childers. If you've ever watched Barnyard the movie with the little cartoon cows and stuff, I can play some songs from there. A little bit of Coldplay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. I'm still new to it, so I'm still trying to learn. And if anyone out there knows guitar and wants to come jam with me any day, just feel free to reach out.
Awesome. I love it. So going back a little bit, talking about weight class here, if it didn't matter, right? If you could eat whatever you wanted, what is the meal you're going to pick?
If it didn't matter,
If it did not matter whatsoever.
I would probably have to go back home
Okay.
and go to the sushi place that's around half a mile from my house.
Okay.
And I would order a special menu item called the Randy Roll.
What is the Randy roll?
It's a sushi roll. It has shrimp tempura down the middle with avocado, and it has salmon, tuna, and some other fish on top, and spicy mayo and stuff. The all the good stuff. And it's named after my uncle because he's like their number one customer. He goes in there. He used to go in there like every day. So it's the best roll. If you're ever in Williamsburg, go to Sushi, get the Randy roll for sure.
Noted. That sounds so good. And I think that's funny that was your choice. I think honestly I was expecting like pasta or something like that, but it was sushi. I like the route that you took on that. So my final question, going back to media day, there was a certain creature that you were put in charge of.
Yep.
I don't personally love this creature. I think he's very cool, but if he popped up on my front porch, I really don't think I'd be too excited about it. So can you tell us a little bit about the snake that was at your media day?
That's our coach's snake. That's Coach Hill's snake.
Does it have a name?
I don't know the name, sadly. I'm not going to lie to you. But it is a beautiful, beautiful snake, in my opinion.
It is pretty. I do have to agree with you there.
I do know he has it because he was a biology teacher in high school. So he had a bunch of reptiles. I'm pretty sure he used to have tortoises a couple years ago. Like pet tortoises,
like the
creatures.
really big ones, right?
Yeah, for sure. But the snake was so calm, and so it was well behaved. I'd like to say, but it was kind of fun to see how all the other guys reacted and make sure that the snake was comfortable with all the guys. Like, the way you hold a snake is you just have to act like you're a tree. Is what I was telling everyone. You just got to support from under it because if you're not, it's gonna try and hold on to you. And then you're going to freak out, and it's going to freak out. And so, I was just making sure the snake was comfortable with everyone.
Heavy?
It was kind of heavy. I'd say around 10, 15 pounds. Not too crazy. But, it was fun to, take it off one person and put it on the next and, watch them try to figure out how to hold it. And, I think everyone enjoyed the snakes company that wanted to participate.
Fair enough. Were some people fully against it?
Yeah, there were some people that were fully against it. And at the very last guy that had the snake, his name's Eddie. I was asking people, I was like, all right, this is the last call for the snake. Anyone else that want it, you got to come up now. And he was in the back. He wasn't really close to the snake. So he was like, I'll take a picture with it. He came up and I put it on him. He was like, it's a real snake? He started freaking out. He didn't know it was a real snake. I was like, yeah. So he took his pictures real quick and was like, get off me, please. But yeah, there was definitely some people that were very against it. But
you guys had it last year too, right?
Yeah, we did have it last year.
So is that going to be a trend that continues?
I hope so. For sure. I'd take pictures with it every year if Coach Hill would allow it.
Yeah, I personally am not like a snake girl. I don't really like things that have more than 4 legs or don't have legs. But he is very cool. He makes you guys look pretty tough.
Thank you.
I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Well, Brooks, I want to thank you so much for joining and talking to me today. I really, love talking to you and hearing a little bit about the wrestling program, especially you guys' first year. And I cannot wait to see what you accomplish and your teammates this year.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed this.